Hi, welcome back to my channel, At Home with Melly. I am your host, Melanie, aka Melly, and I'm so glad you decided to come back. The first video that I posted was about that being my first video and me going along on this journey to try to build this YouTube channel and see where that took me. So thank you for coming back and revisiting. And if this is your first time here, welcome, welcome, welcome. Again, my name is Melanie. And we, as we discussed in the first video, have not niched this one down completely yet. But I definitely probably feel like I'm gonna be talking to mostly my middle-aged Gen X girlies. And dudes, maybe. You know, I don't know. I feel like whatever channel you have, you should speak about things that you know, you're familiar with, that you've experienced. I don't know what it's like to be a middle-aged man. I don't know what it's like to be a Gen X man. So I don't know that I'll cover a lot of that. Maybe I'll have my husband on at some point. He can talk about what that's like. I don't know. But I will say, I actually had another topic that I was going to talk about. I was going to do this whole like more creative home renovation thing. But I had insomnia last night. And I've had insomnia twice this week. And if you're a younger person who's not going through menopause, like I am, right? I said in the first video we were going to talk about the M word. We were going to talk about menopause. If you're a young person who's not going through it yet, and I completely understand if you're like turning it off, I'm not there yet, I don't want to hear about it. But if you are at an age where it's something that's starting to be on your radar, stay tuned. Tune in, like, check it out. It has its pluses and minuses for women. But today I'm going to be discussing the top 5 things that make me a little crazy about being in menopause. And I took some notes. So if you see me looking away, I'm checking my notes. Okay, the first thing I want to talk about is insomnia. It is terrible. Like, you wake up, well, my favorite time for my body to wake up is between 2:30 and 4:30 a.m. in the morning. And when I tell you, you are thinking about an argument you had from the 3rd grade to should I have worn that dress to the club when I was 21 to what was the name of that song again that I loved, to did I send that email 3 weeks ago? It's terrible. It is terrible. I know that I'm not going to be able to go back to sleep. When I wake up in that time frame, in that window of 2:30 to 4:30, if I wake up and music, a song starts to replay over and over and over and over and over and over and over again in my head, I already know I'm not going back to sleep. And then here come the thoughts. Here come the thoughts. What was my 5th grade gym teacher's name? Did I swipe my debit card at the farmer's market or did I pay cash? I walked into the kitchen earlier today and couldn't remember what I was in there for. Is that a sign of dementia? Like, that's your brain. That's your brain on menopause. And if you're a Gen Xer, you remember that commercial. This is your brain. This is your brain on drugs. Okay, well, this is your brain. This is your brain on menopause. So that's what that is. So yeah, I don't like that. And it's funny though, the nights when I have insomnia and I can't sleep, the next day, you'd think I would be like super exhausted. Sometimes I am, but most of the time, especially if I can't sleep like at all, for some strange reason, I'm awake the next day. It's crazy. It's like there's been a few occasions where I'm like, I've literally been up for 24 hours. I should be passed out in my car. No. The human body, right? It's crazy. It's crazy what it does. All right. My second thing that makes me crazy about being in menopause. And again, Gen X people, Gen X ladies, we are 1965 to 1980. So I'm talking to my 45 and 60-year-old girlies right now, right? You guys know, if you're not there yet, my 45 to 50-year-olds, you might be on your way. You might be in perimenopause, which is the appetizer to the entree. It's so funny. Quick story. I remember when I was like 47, 48, I said to my mom, I was like, gosh, I'm having hot flashes all the time. And, you know, I feel like I walk into the kitchen and I'm like, why am I in here? And I was like, I think I might be in perimenopause. And she was like, no, you're too young. You're 47, 48, girl, you're too young. Yeah, well, she was wrong. I've since lost my mom, but those are good memories to have. That was a very funny conversation that she and I had together, because she was just like, girl, no, you're too young. I was like, apparently, no, I'm not. So I need you to send that memo to my body. But anyway, and I think I went into like full menopause in my early 50s. So I'm in my mid 50s now. Okay, second thing that makes me crazy about being in menopause, hot flashes. I don't know how to describe hot flashes. I do have some younger counterparts in my life, in my world, who do experience them. Maybe they had a hysterectomy. Maybe they've always had a hormonal imbalance their whole life. So I've met a tiny handful of women under the age of 45 who are like, oh, I get hot flashes now. But most of the women that I meet under the age of 45 have never had one, don't have them. People say it's kind of a heat, and it kind of is. It's not a heat like a fever. It's a heat like if you were outside, right, and you were going on your walk, and then the sun was hitting you, and then all of a sudden, you know, you started to feel like hot, and you could feel that your adrenaline is up, and you know, you're starting to sweat. I guess that's the best way I can think of to describe what it is. But for me, it starts here. It starts with my chest and my neck, and then it works its way up to my head and my hair, and then it works its way to my back. And when it happens at night, in the middle of the night, and I always count myself lucky, because when I have those insomnia attacks, usually what wakes me up to have those insomnia attacks, if I'm able to go to sleep at all, is a hot flash. I have a hot flash, and then I can't go back to sleep. And every woman who is menopausal will tell you, God bless their husbands, boyfriends, girlfriends, partners, whoever your significant other is. Oh my gosh, the house is freezing. When I go to sleep at night, the house has got to be freezing, right? My poor dog, she's gotten used to it. My little poo pot there, you see her behind me. She's gonna be ready to go OUT soon. I spell it because if I say the word, she's like, you know, so I spell it. But anyway, she's gotten used to it. My husband's gotten used to it. But it has to be freezing in here or I can't sleep. And even when like a flash comes on, like I kick all the covers off of me. And I just have to cool down. So yeah, that makes me crazy. And you know, sometimes if I'm hanging out with a young person, and I start talking to them and I can feel it coming on, I just say to them, listen, this is what's going on. I'm an older lady. I have a hot flash. You're going to see me all of a sudden start to perspire. Don't freak out, right? It's just a hot flash. So I explained that to them. I'll tell you another interesting fact that I learned. Crazy pants. And I've actually tried it because when a doctor said it to me, I was like, there's no way. If you take your temperature while you're having a hot flash, it will come up normal. I'm like, how can I be feeling like this and my temperature doesn't go up? Nope. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. It's crazy. I've taken my temperature while I'm having a hot flash and it's been the same as if I didn't have one. It's crazy pants. I don't know. Anyway, if someone out there knows, please put it in the comments if you're a medical person or a scientific person and you can explain how or why this happens. Inquiring minds want to know. I want to know, right? We would like to know. Okay, the third thing that makes me crazy about being in menopause, brain fog. I never had kids. I've never had human children. So I've heard pregnant women tell me time and time again, oh my God, you have mommy brain, right? You have pregnancy brain. It's preggers. You're preggers, your brain can't focus on anything else. So that's what happens. Again, I've never had children, but from what has been described to me from women who have had pregnancy brain, it's akin. It's akin. You walk in the kitchen, why are you there? You're starting to tell a story to somebody, mid-sentence, you're like, oh, what was I talking about? Especially if you get distracted. I talk to my husband all the time and like somebody will cut in front of us and I'm like fussing about it and then I'm like, oh, what was I talking about again? You know? And you know, men, they're half listening. They're half checked out. They're half listening. I'm like, baby, what was I talking about? And he's like, shoes. I'm like, no, we were talking about shoes like 10 minutes ago. What were we talking about after that? So, that's a thing. Brain fog it's just, it sucks. I'm going to encompass a lot of this, when I get to the end of this conversation, maybe a rant with steps that I think I'm going to try to take to assist in this as holistically as possible. I don't want to get into a conversation about HRT, which is hormone replacement therapy, because who's for it and they're passionate and who's not for it and they're passionate, and I don't want to get into that here. You do what you think is best for you and your body and your situation and your personality and your level of what you need. And that's where I stand on that. Do you. Okay? Do you. I'm sorry if my eyes are all over the place. I'm trying to figure out if I should look straight, if I should look that way. I don't know. I don't know. Sorry. That's my other phone. That's the bat phone. All right, so we have covered insomnia. We have covered hot flashes. We have covered brain fog. Number 4. Belly fat. Guys, in the first video, I think I mentioned that I'm not a foodie, but I have foodie friends. I don't eat a lot of junk. I don't eat candy at all anymore. And I do like sweets, but I feel like if I don't have them in the house, I won't eat them. So I don't even really eat sweets. I will let myself have like maybe a piece of cake or a muffin twice a week, if that. I do drink soda. I try to make sure I don't ever go over the little 8-ounce cans, but I drink a ton of water. I do drink alcohol, so that probably doesn't help as well, but I try to even limit that. And it's just, and I'd be lying if I said I worked out. I don't work out. I actually probably would be bigger if my diet were worse, but I figure if I worked out, I'd probably be a little smaller. So, I was never a gym rat. I was a club head. I went dancing when I was young. I was my 20s and 30s. Dare I say, even in my early 40s, I was a club head. I went dancing. That was my church. That was my gym. That was my, house music and old school hip hop. And I would go out 3 or 4 times a week and dance 3 or 4 hours a night. And that wasn't how I lost weight. It wasn't even conscious. It was just something that I enjoyed doing. And when I stopped going out, it was like, okay, because nobody wants to be the creepy old lady in the club, right? I mean, I'm not knocking day parties. I'm not knocking Gen X parties. I'm all for them. In fact, bring them back, have them be regular. Love the idea, right? But when I was younger, that's what I did. And it wasn't for exercise. I just enjoyed it. So when it went away, I was like, okay, well, I'm putting on this weight. What can I do to lose it? And I tried going to the gym and I was like, this sucks. I don't like this. I don't want to be here. I tried Pilates, love Pilates, but Pilates, okay, not cheap. Yoga's cool. I think yoga is necessary, especially if you are a middle-aged person, a Gen Xer, because Gen X, we're middle-aged, right? So I'm talking to you. Yoga is kind of necessary, if for no other reason than to make sure that we are stretching our bodies and that we don't atrophy. And I notice when I do stretch, and I do, even if it's a couple of basic yoga moves, my body feels so much better. So, that part, right? The belly fat sucks, but again, there's something else that I'm gonna try that I will mention at the end of the video to help hopefully combat that. My last and final 5th thing that I don't love or I'm annoyed by, being frustrated with, being in menopause, is mood swings. And when I wrote that down in my notes, I put a question mark next to it because I don't think I have mood swings, luckily. I know some women who go through menopause have them, and they will tell you that they have them, right? And some women are very self-aware of that. I check in with my family, I check in with my friends, I check in with my husband, and they all tell me, no, you're pretty much the same, right? But the one thing I have noticed about myself is my patience level for foolishness is donut. I have been in a very customer service oriented line of work for a very long time. And I've done a lot of this because I've had to. And I've done a lot of this because I've had to. But as I get older, I'm like, girl, you know that's stupid. Why would you do that? Girl, you was asking for trouble when you did A, B, C, and D. And my filter is leaving. And I don't know if that's a menopause thing or a midlife thing or just, I don't know. But it's not a mood swing thing. But what I do have is a much lower tolerance level. I can't. It's like when somebody does something stupid, I used to be able to be like, okay, well, let's talk this out. Let's walk through with you. Now I'm like, well, you know that was stupid. You know it was. I mean, are we going to sit up here and act like you should have done that? Because you should know better. So, I don't have the tolerance level for it anymore. I don't. Some people might call that a mood swing. I don't know. I just say it's I just don't have the time. I can't entertain it. I can't do negative people. I'm like, ugh, stay over there. Like, I can't, you know? Maybe that's growth. Maybe that's menopause. Maybe that's midlife. I don't know. But whatever it is, that's where I am with that. So, wrapping all of this up, I said that I was gonna start talking about some things that I could do to maybe help combat these things, deal with these things. So as far as the insomnia and belly fat and maybe mood swings go, a lot of people have recommended collagen to me. And not even just for belly fat, just for wellness. So, and they're not paying me to do this. I'm not in any shape, form, or fashion being sponsored. And I haven't honestly even purchased it yet, but I am definitely looking into Black Girl Vitamins collagen. Definitely plan on trying that. You know, I feel like it can't hurt. I've done a lot of reading. I've done a lot of research. I've spoken to my gyno. I've spoken to my primary care. Both of them say the same thing. Like, there's nothing in my blood work or general history that says that it should be a problem for me. And I'm like, do you recommend it? And my gyno was like, I don't not recommend it, you know? And my primary care was like, I think it could be a good thing. So again, I haven't tried Black Girl Vitamins yet, but if I'm gonna try vitamins, if I'm gonna try collagen, then I'm gonna give my girls, my sister girlies, you know, a shot first, you know? So I am gonna try Black Girl Vitamin Collagen, and I will get back to you and let you know if it worked, if it didn't work, if I feel a change, if I didn't feel a change. I'll let you know about that in the future. As far as the brain fog and hot flashes, I think all of it actually. Walking, moving more, sitting less. You know, maybe I need to up my game on the stretching and the yoga. And I think that could be a good thing, especially as we start to wind down out of summer and it's getting a little cooler outside. I probably could take my baby on longer walks. I don't walk her far now because she's a senior, she's 10. She can't really be outside in the heat that much. And honestly, by the time I walk her and bring her back, then I'm like, I don't feel like going back out. But I'm gonna have to put that effort in because my body needs it. I think my body demands it. And so yeah, that's something that I plan on trying to help. I don't wanna just whine and cry and be like, these things suck. And they do, and guess what? Some of it, all of it might be out of my control. But in the meantime, I can try the thing, right? I can try the walking, I can try the exercise, I can try the stretching, I can try the collagen. So anyway, hopefully I get to sleep tonight. I think I will. But yeah, that was my my little 2 cents on menopause and some of the things that I'm going through that make me a little crazy. I hope this was helpful. I hope it was fun for you, right? I hope it made you feel like you're not alone. You're in community with other women that are going through the same thing that you were going through, for sure. But if you liked this video, you felt like it was helpful, you enjoyed it, it made you laugh a little bit, snicker a little bit, please do like the video and subscribe if you like. Again, I'm a middle-aged Gen X woman trying to roll this YouTube thing out. I'm learning as I go along. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and please come back again next Sunday. All right, I'll see you then. I hope you have a great rest of your week. Bye.